Hey, Chris, thank you so much for jumping on to CEO Chats. I'm really excited to talk with you for a couple minutes. I started following you, I think, a couple months ago, and I was really inspired by your message and your repetition. You're constantly posting scriptures online on your story every single day. And then I saw that you had other pages. Not only are you a lawyer, but you also paint. And then you also are a fitness trainer. So that kind of blew my mind. So it was like an evolution of kind of me discovering like the type of person you are online. And then I
Right.
really initially became super intrigued by your discipline and the way that you represent yourself and uphold yourself. You know, obviously to go to law school, there requires a lot of discipline there to stay on with the education, to be a
Yeah.
fitness trainer and to be fit, obviously. And then also with art is a constant evolution. And so I had to kind of get you on here and talk a little bit about and get to know you for like, where did that come from? And how are you maintaining it?
Yeah. Well, I just want to first say I appreciate you, one reaching out. And I'm honored that, you would even, share your platform with me. So I really appreciate that. And, hopefully I can give some good advice or tips or, whatever the people out there are looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to know a little bit about you. Were you always this person, or was there a mentor in your life that helped you get?
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a lot of mentors, and I don't really call them mentors. I call them brothers, or spiritual fathers. I like to call them as well. But God has done a great job, a very intentional job of surrounding me with men that has helped me mold into the man I am today. Right. So from high school to first and foremost, my dad. Right. I think my dad is a great example of that, and has helped me, just mold me into the man I am today. But even with also that, he's given me coaches, he's given me friends, he's given me spiritual advisors that all pour into me, right? All pour into me, and I just take it and I receive it, and I try to honor them as best as I can as well.
Well, okay. So I have a mom along the same lines. My mom's a minister. And so
Okay.
she was my spiritual advisor growing up and my mentor and like my role model. But like that's also my mom. So, like
Right.
I would take everything she said with a grain of salt. Like I wouldn't. I mean, she's gonna look at this. So,
No, I know what you mean.
so I'm like, really,
Yeah.
like, what was it? Because I, I don't know if it kind of clicked for me until much later.
It kind of clicked for me when I was me and one of my best friends, like we just had this dream and we had this goal of like getting to the NFL, right? So we wasn't like no huge recruits coming out of high school or anything like that. We was just two guys that, love to work, right? And love to compete. So going into our freshman year of college, that summer, we just had the ability. Well, actually before that, really I would say probably my sophomore year was in high school as when things started to like click. And I really just started to realize, man, I have to be more disciplined, right? And I have to start taking things seriously because I always knew I had the ability, whether it be school, whether it be in football or anything. I just need to actually apply myself and be more intentional with everything, right? So how it initially started, this is probably going back the most I can remember. I had like I had two group of friends, right? I had a group of friends in high school that was in all the honors classes, right? And I could say black friends too. They were all in the honors classes. They were doing their thing, right? And I had another group of friends that, they wasn't honor class or anything, but they just was, like to have fun in class, just, mess around, have a good time and stuff like that. And that freshman year, I found myself always like, going with this group and not with them, right? The honors kids and stuff like that. So I just started like, I didn't like the feeling, right? I didn't like the feeling of kind of being the bottom of my friend group. So I just like, man, this summer I'm gonna start applying myself. I'm gonna start really studying, right? Just really being intentional about those things. And I was like, because I need to get in that group. So I made the switch. I started getting more intentional. I graduated with honors, and then it kind of carried on to football, and I took it to the next level. And I'm always big on progression, right? One of my things I try to live by is every day I have to get better, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, or emotionally. That's the goal each and every day. So I just try to attack that each and every day, and hopefully I look up and I'm where I want to be one day. All right.
Nice. I love everything you said. It's so nice to get to know you and your progression. And one of my main questions is, even though like I know personally, and like this is a huge mentoring session for me as well, like not just for my followers, because I feel like what you have is some of like kind of what I'm trying to get in my life right now. I'm kind of in that in-between phase, like when you were a sophomore in high school, where I have these groups of friends, and I'm especially at 28. And for a lot of you who don't know, Chris is 28 as well. You are very mature for your age. So I just want to give you props to that. But
people keep saying that, but they always used to say that when I was younger. So now I just feel like I'm a little older. So I don't know.
No way. Men who are 28 do not present themselves like you do in Jersey. So I just want to put that out. And for right now, for me, like my friends, I'm seeing like everyone likes to go out every weekend, party, drink, like listen to a particular type of music. And I'm trying to like move this way, a different direction with myself, with, just maintaining healthier spaces for me mentally. Everybody can live their own life. I'm not like downing anybody and what they want to do. But for me, what I've learned about myself is the spaces that I thrive in are, non-alcoholic, nature, reading, like, and amongst like-minded people. And so I'm like in the middle of making this decision and then maintaining it. So like my question to you is, like, how did it feel to kind of lose those friends, and how are you maintaining, like, what's constantly being the fuel that you may need to maintain this disciplined life?
Well, something that God has kind of like taught me or refined me throughout the years, especially starting off in high school, is, in high school, I kind of took some chances, right? Some fashion chances and stuff like that. Probably the first thing I could probably remember was, we had this dress up day in school, and I decided to wear green jeans, right? See, nowadays it's a cool thing because everybody wear olive, right? Back then, when I was going to high school, it wasn't like olive wasn't really a thing, right? So I did it, and I had, a bunch of people teasing me and like, man, what you doing? X, Y, and Z. So throughout high school, those little bitty things, God has kind of taught me to be able to stand on my own, right? I don't need a crowd to approve me. I don't need a whole bunch of people, hyping me up. I can do me and be completely comfortable with that, right? And even in college it hit me real hard, especially when, I started expressing the fact that I was a virgin, waiting till marriage and stuff like this. A lot of people wasn't really feeling it, right? I got the gay thing, I got a whole bunch of, names getting called to me. But like I said, I already kind of built that discipline to be like, man, this is who I am. You're either gonna like it or you're not, but I'm not changing who I am because, you feel some type of way about it. But with that also being said, as I was that intentional and comfortable with and confident in who I was, God ended up sending the right people around me, right? I started seeing people be attracted to that, right? And then I also started seeing people around me that was pushing me to do even better, right? Man, I'm a firm believer in, man, you be who God has called you to be, and he's going to surround you with the right people. He will. It might take a little minute. You might have to go through a season where you're isolated. Everybody in the Bible had to do it, right? Including Jesus. So once you get out of that season, man, he's going to start bringing people around you that's going to push you and elevate you and motivate you. And then he's going to also give you a group that you're going to have to pour into, right? Because it's all about paying it forward. It's not just about you. So I think God has been very intentional in having those two groups in my life. People that pour into me, but people I also pour into as well.
I love that. I love that, because it's not just like, oh, I'm letting these people go. It's like I'm standing on my own 2 feet with who I am. And you can still give back and be an example that you like want to see kind of on that, in the outward.
Exactly. And to be honest, that's what helps me stay kind of steady, right? Steady working, steady, always trying to achieve and do more and be better. Because I know, I have kids out there, people I train and young athletes that is looking at me, right? And even though they might not say it, they might say it, but I know they're looking, right? And I want to show them that, man, you can do it this way. You can be different. You can stand out. And then still reap all those blessings and that success, that people see, right? And I think we need to, as my generation, we need to show other young generations that, no, you can do it this way and be successful and do it, everything you dreamed of.
Yeah. And it's rare to see, people walk in their purpose unapologetically strong. And especially in the culture that we're living in today, because most people aren't that, you know, and like it's instant gratification. That's kind of online, social media,
Right.
music, like everything is instant gratification. So I really admire you for staying true to yourself and maintaining the discipline. I have a little bit of a counter for you, and I wonder,
Okay.
you know, what you're gonna say about it.
Nah, shoot, what you got?
I know you're a lawyer, but my question to you is, what does your self-talk look like? And like, are you hard on yourself? You know, do you try to be perfect? Like, what does that all look like? Because as I'm myself trying to achieve, like I'm trying to look at myself through an empathetic lens. And so I wonder, someone like you who has like all these goals and it seems like you kind of have it figured out, like, what does your mind look like in regards to that?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I definitely want to say I have it all figured out, right? But one thing I've always prayed for is for wisdom, right? I'm always prayed for wisdom, and I think that's extremely important because yes, I am hard on myself, especially with the football, especially with, you know, a lot of spiritual things about, you know, just being the man, the type of man that I want to be for my wife and for my kids, and for my friends, right? So I am hard on myself to a certain extent, but I also understand, you know, it's a process, right? Everything is a process. You're not going to wake up one day and just start benching 400 pounds. It doesn't happen that way. You have to work at it each and every day. So my goal each and every day, like I said earlier, is just to get better, just to get 1% better. And when you do that and you be intentional about that, you're going to look up and you're going to be where you want to be, right? Now, how do you not get so hard on yourself, right? I think having that good friend group around you that's going to, man, I have some great friends. I'm not even going to lie, because even sometimes when I'm hard on myself, they just say something and it'd be out the blue and they'd be like, man, Chris, like you're really doing your thing. Like and it just makes me kind of take a step back and be like, man, okay, like chill out. Now I know I got dreams and I know I want to do this X, Y, and Z, but man, like you've came a long way, right? You've came a long way. So just remember the journey. Remember the journey. And it's not always about the destination, right? It's about who you become in the process, right? I think that's really important. And don't get me wrong, it's hard. It's hard when you're in the process to kind of keep that as the focus. But yeah, we just can't be so overly hard on ourselves to where we almost paralyze ourselves, right? To where you have no gratitude. You can't really see how far you came. All you can see is man, I got this far to go. I got this far to go. Well, you're not going to be able to run a mile in one step. Right. I don't care who you are. You're not going to be able to run a mile in one step. You can only do it one step at a time. So you just kind of have to break it down. Right, break it down and to do it just like we do anything.
Right. Well, I think that's perfect. And I think that wraps up pretty much everything that we just talked about. I know my CEO chats are only 15 minutes, Chris, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time to do this today. I know you're busy.
Oh, no problem. No problem. I appreciate it. Thank you again for that kind of went by fast. I'm not gonna lie.
It always does, but there's so much value in that. And I think that the person watching on the other side of this camera is going to really appreciate it. So again, I'm going to just stop the recording right there and say thank you so much.